Most artists learn to draw legs last, and for many people, they are one of the most confusing parts of the body after hands. Hi everyone, I'm Meladoodle, and today I'll do my best to teach you the basics of drawing legs. Grab your Coke, iPad, and stylus, and let's get started. So first, let's understand where the legs are placed. They actually start around the middle of the body, not from the waist. If we divide the body into 7 heads, we split those 7 heads in half to find the midpoint. The thighs take up about 1/4 of the full body, which means they are roughly half the length of the legs. The remaining space is taken by the lower leg and the foot. Also, keep in mind that you shouldn't extend the foot lower than this measurement. From there, many people draw straight lines down to build the legs, but this is actually a small mistake. Legs may look straight, but because of the bones, they are not perfectly vertical. It's more accurate to draw the upper leg at a slight angle since that's how the femur is positioned. Below the thigh is the knee, which sits at a more direct angle, creating a kind of straightening. Then comes the lower leg and the foot. When adding muscles, remember that most of the mass of the thigh is located on the inner side, while on the lower leg it is more prominent on the outer side. Also keep in mind that the masses on the outer side of the leg usually sit higher than the ones on the inner side. Once we keep these details in mind, the leg starts to look much more natural, balanced, and visually straight. Let's take a look at the leg from the side. First, we draw a line of support. Here we have the pelvis, the lower abdomen, and glute area, and here is the femur. From the side, it has a slight curve, which also creates a subtle curve on the front of the thigh. The back of the thigh is usually much straighter. However, if a person is physically active, there is often a noticeable bulge beneath the glute caused by muscle development. At the bottom of the femur are the ligaments around the knee, which prevent our legs from bending backward. Then comes the knee itself. The front of the lower leg has a fairly straight shape, and there isn't a lot of muscle mass in this area. The back, however, is shaped by the calf muscles, which create a noticeable volume. Overall, if you simplify the leg into basic lines, you can describe its shape with a gentle flowing curve that passes through the knee, while the remaining forms can be connected with simple, clean lines. Now let's talk about the foot. It has a much more complex structure, so it's helpful to break it down into simpler parts. We can divide it into the heel, the arch of the foot, the joint of the big toe, and the big toe itself. Don't forget about the ankle joint above the heel, since its volume is an important part of the overall shape. Between the lower leg and the arch of the foot, there is a tendon structure that acts almost like a strap supporting the foot. Because of this, the foot does not connect to the leg at a perfect right angle. The arch itself is not a straight line either. Keep this volume in mind and draw it with a slight curve, giving it a rounded and natural appearance. From the back, the foot is narrower, just like the heel, and gradually widens toward the toes. It's also important to remember that the underside of the arch curves inward. This curve is especially noticeable on the side of the big toe. When drawing the foot from a front view, we can clearly see the arch of the foot as well as the volume of the big toe and the other 4 toes. Above the arch, the ankle bones will protrude slightly on both sides, and their shape will be visible through the silhouette of the foot. Now let's talk about improving your ability to draw legs. Understanding these forms won't happen overnight, and that's completely normal. To develop this skill, I recommend working with references. And by that, I don't just mean trying to copy the whole leg. You can also trace over references to study the structure directly. Break the legs down into simple forms. Highlight the major masses and muscle groups for yourself. This will help you not only draw legs more confidently, but also understand how all of their parts work together. For a deeper understanding, you can eventually study anatomy in more detail or practice drawing muscles. But I would recommend doing that after you feel comfortable constructing the basic form of the leg. Well, I'll probably go practice too. As for you, I wish you lots of creative success, delicious food, and steady progress in your art journey. This was Meladoodle. See you next time. Bye-bye.